Hello viewers, I am presenting the part 4 of property valuation for beginners. In the previous presentation, valuation for beginners part 1, 2 and 3, the basic principles of valuation has been explained in detail. In the part 2 and 3, the methods of valuation with many number of worked out examples have been presented. In this chapter also, more emphasis has been given for case studies than the theory of valuation. These principles of valuation followed in part 1, 2, 3 are the one followed till the implementation of International Valuation Standards IVS in the year 2017. In the IVS, the valuation principles have been divided into a more broader concept as income approach, market approach, and cost approach. In this chapter, Property Valuation for Beginners, Part 4, the valuation principles are divided according to the different approaches followed as per IVS. In fact, the methods followed before 2017 and after implementation of IVS are both more or less one and same, with slight variation and are sometimes overlapping. The part 4 is prepared useful for valuers who are appearing for the IBBA registered valuers examination. Valuation principles, approaches and methods. In property valuation, you often come across the terms valuation approaches and valuation methods. Though these two terms sounds as two different compartments of valuation, in reality they are interlinked. Valuation approaches. The different approaches in valuation are 1. Income approach, 2. Market approach, and 3. Cost approach. Income approach. The income approach is considered for real estate property which can produce an income, and the main aspect for ascertaining the capital value is income flow from the property. The income approach to valuation itself points to the fact that the income from a property is the basis for assessing the value of the property. The procedure under the income approach is to capitalize the rent by suitable yield in order to arrive at the capital value. The methods used under the income approach are 1. Income capitalization method or investment method or rental method or yield method. 2. Discounted cash flow method called DFC method. 3rd, profit method also known as capitalization as of earning method. The words landlord and tenant are the norm indicates the owner of the building and the occupant of the building. Whereas the landowner and the land tenant is always described as leaser and lessee. It is also used for buildings with the built-up premises or they are in occupational lease. Definition of technical terms used. Before further going, it is better that all the viewers are familiarized with the terms used in this chapter. Rent. The term rent in general is expressed for the annual return from a property. Lease rent. It is the rent charged by the landowner, that is the leaser, to the land tenant, the lessee, for the use of the land under certain specified and mutually agreed terms and conditions. This is called the ground rent. The term lesser, lessee, lease rent are also used for letting down a built-up area and the appurtenant land. Rack rent. It is the full rental value or the gross rent recovered or receivable from the property in an year. It can be the rent for the bare land or a land with building. Virtual rent. It is the virtual gross rent received or receivable by a leaser for the lessee for the leased out property. In some cases, the leaser receives a lump sum amount termed as premium from the lessee as advance. It is to be noted, the premium is nothing but the rent paid in advance. The amount received by the lessor are categorized in two parts: the regular rent received annually plus the lump sum amount received as advance rent and termed as premium, and these together is called the virtual rent of the property. Sometimes the lessee may invest some amount for the improvement of the property. This rental value of the investment made by the lessee is considered in working out the virtual rent. Head rent. In many occasions, the main lessee, called the head lessee, subleases the property to another person called the sublessee, so as to distinguish between sublessee to the head lessee and the rent paid by the head lessee to the owner, the leaser. The rent paid by the head lessee to the owner or the leaser is called the head rent. Profit rent. Generally, the head lessee subleases a property to another person at a higher rate than the head rent. The increased rent at which the head lessee subleases is called the improved rent, and the difference between the head rent and the improved rent is called the profit rent. Contractual rent. The rent mutually agreed between the landlord and the tenant as per the tenancy contract, which can be written contract or a verbal contract, is called the contractual rent. Standard rent. The rent fixed by the terms and provisions of the Rent Control Act is called the standard rent. Monopoly rent. The rent charged due to certain locational advantages, which is usually higher than the normal rent, is called the monopoly rent. Concessional rent. When a person rents his premises to his friends or relatives or any third person at a rent lower than the prevailing rent in the locality, it is called the concessional rent. Market rent. It is the highest rent that can be received by the landlord when considering the advantages and disadvantages of the property is called the market rent. The ground rent. In the case of property which is not freehold but a leasehold tenure, then the landlord has to pay lease rent or ground rent for the use of the land till the date of expiry of the lease. Gross rent and net rent. The assets in a capital market does not require any expenditure to keep the capital intact. But in real estate, a lot of expenditure is to be incurred in order to keep up the land and the building in a state to command a net income. These expenditure, like repairs, maintenance, management charges, is called the outgoing. The gross rent is the rent that is received by the landlord from the tenant. The above-mentioned expenditure or outgoings incurred by the landlord is deducted from the gross rent, and the resultant net amount is called the net rent. Exclusive rent. Exclusive rent is rent which is fixed by a tenancy agreement where the outgoings are borne by the tenant. So the balance rent is the net rent received by the landlord. Inclusive rent. If in a tenancy agreement, the landlord bears the burden of all the outgoings, the rent payable by the tenant is called the inclusive rent. Fully repairing an insurance lease. If in a lease agreement, the tenant undertakes to bear the burden of all the outgoings, namely repairs, maintenance, management, insurance, taxes, etc., it is called a fully repairing an insurance lease. Year's purchase. Year's purchase is defined as a capitalized value required to be paid once and for all in order to receive an annual income of Rupee 1 for a specified year's period of time at specified rate of return. Year's purchase is equal to capital value into Rupee 1 divided by rate of capitalization. Capitalization. It is a mode of approach or concept indicating the amount required to be invested by a person at present to receive a profit or benefit or right at a future date. The future benefit means the net profit or the net income in future. Rate of capitalization. It is the rate of return at which the investor is willing to invest his capital to get future benefits. Annuity. That the net annual payment received for the capital invested in an immovable property or in any other form of investment. Yield. Yield refers to the earnings generated and realized on an investment over a particular period of time, except as a percentage based on the invested amount. Different rights in a property. Properties are divided into two categories according to the rights held in the property. One, the freehold property. In the freehold property, the owner of the property has got absolute right in the property and the owner is in full possession of the property. Whereas in leasehold property, in a leasehold property, the lessee acquires the right to enjoy the property and can sue the trespassers in his own name. The lessor's interest is not defeated by subsequent transfer of the property. Lease does not terminate by death of either of the leaser or the lessee. Lease is transferable and heritable. Lessor and lessee. The person who transfers the right to enjoy the property is called the lessor. The person to whom the right is given is called the lessee. The common types of lease are building lease, occupational lease, then sublease. Valuation approaches. Till the year 2017, valuations of properties were worked out as per the 5 methods detailed above. On the implementation of the International Valuation Standards, which came in force in the year 2017, there was change in the approach. As per the IVS, that is International Valuation Standards, the valuations of properties are done as per the following valuation approaches. 1. Income approach, market approach, and cost approach. The above approaches and the methods explained in the previous chapters are interconnected, and in some cases it is overlapping the other, creating a confusion among the beginners in valuation. This confusion can be cleared only by analyzing the examples in each category. So here I have opted a practical approach to this problem. First, we will get conversant with the formula and valuation tables used generally for the valuation purposes. Then we will go through the study of the valuation of properties as per the valuation approaches, income approach, market approach, and cost approach. After working out some examples under the above approaches, we will go through the valuation properties as per land and building method, composite rate method, rent capitalization method, development method, and profit method. This method of approach has been made so as to completely clear any confusion among the beginners in valuation on the different methods in property valuation. Formulae and valuation tables. Before proceeding further in this subject, the valuation, you should be thorough with the most important formulae to be applied for valuation methods. These formulae is the main criteria controlling the valuation process. They are explained below in detail. Valuation formulae. 1. Simple interest. This we have studied even in the high school. It is PNR by 100. That is 1 plus NR. Rate of return is equal to number of years. N is equal to number of years. Then future value, that is compound interest. 1 plus R, the whole raised to N. R is the rate of return and N is the number of years. Then present value, that is 1 by 1 plus R, the whole raised to N. Future value, annuity, it is for the recurring deposit. 1 plus R, the whole raised to N, minus 1 divided by R. Sinking fund, it is the opposite of future value. That is R divided by 1 plus R, the whole raised to N minus 1. Years purchase, if it is perpetual, 1 by R. Years purchase single rate is equal to 1 minus PV by R. That is 1 minus 1 by 1 plus R, the whole raised to 1, the whole divided by R. Years purchase, double rate, 1 by S plus R. S is the sinking fund and R is the rate of return. Deferred by P, that is when the property is reversed after a certain period of the lease, then you have to find out the value, the present value, the deferred value now for a property which will be returned after quite a long time. That is 1 by R. That is the years purchase perpetual 1 by R. Then what is the value of 1 by R at present? That is the present value is equal to 1 by R into 1 divided by 1 plus R, the whole raised to N. Case studies of simple interest, compound interest, and years purchase. Case 1. A person deposits an amount of rupees 7,000 at 5% simple interest rate for 10 years period. What will be the gross amount received after 10 years, including the total amount of interest on simple interest? Interest is equal to PNR by 100 is equal to 7,000 into 5 divided by 1,000 into the years of term, that is 10 years is equal to 3,500. So A is equal to the principal plus the interest, that is 7,000 plus 3,500 is equal to 10,500. It's a very simple problem which you have done in the high school. Case 2. A deposit 10,000 rupees in a bank at 6% compound interest for 7 years. Find out the gross amount receivable after 10 years, including total interest at compound interest rate. Total interest I is equal to 1 plus R the whole raised to n. Gross amount, including the interest for year, is equal to A is equal to P into 1 plus R the whole raised to n. That's equal to 10,000, the principal, into 1 plus the rate of return 6%. So it's equal to 1 plus 0.06, the raised to the years invested, that is 10 years. So 10,000 into 1 plus 0.06, the whole raised to 10 is equal to 10,000 into 1.06, the whole raised to 10 is equal to 10,000 into 1.79084. So the gross principal plus interest is equal to rupees 17,908. Case 3. A parent requires an amount of rupees 3 lakhs after 6 years to admit his son in engineering at 6% compound interest is offered by the financial institution. What amount should he deposit in the financial institution? In this case, the method is the reverse working of case 2. Percent worth of the receivable amount. C is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus R the whole raised to n. That's equal to 3 lakhs into 1 divided by 1 plus 0.06 the whole raised to 6. So it's equal to 3 lakhs into 1 by 1.4185 is equal to 3 lakhs into 0.7049 is equal to rupees 2 lakhs 11,470. Case 4. A purchased a residential plot for 4 lakhs in the year 2000. He had to spend another rupees 45,000 as stamp duty and registration charges in the year 2000. He started constructing a building in the year 2005. Calculate the value of the amount that is blocked up in land investment after 5 years on the basis of purchase price of land and other expenses by considering 8% compound rate of interest. Principal sum is equal to 4 lakhs plus 45,000 invested is equal to 4 lakh 45,000. Rate of interest 8%, number of years 5 years. So value of land after 5 years is equal to P into 1 plus R the whole raised to n is equal to 4 lakhs 45,000 into 1.08 the whole raised to 5 is equal to rupees 6 lakh 53,839. Case 5. A person invested rupees 10,000 Kerala state government bond at compound interest of 12% for the bond period of 25 years, cumulative and not annual, in the year 2000. On maturity in 2025, the holder of the bond will get rupees 1,70,000 in 2010. Now, the Kerala government gave an option to bondholders to sell the bond to the government, that is buyback, for a price of rupees 50,000. Analyze and find out whether this offer is profitable to the bondholder. Value of the bond is rupees 10,000, 12% compound interest. So after 10 years, the amount will be 10,000 to 1 plus 0.12, the whole raised to 10 is equal to rupees 31,058. It is advantageous that he accept the offer of 40,000 in 2010. But here you should also check the present worth of future benefit of rupees 1,70,000 in 2000. The present worth is equal to C into 1 divided 1 plus R the whole raised to n. That is equal to 1,70,000 into 1 divided by 1.12 the whole raised to 15. So it is equal to 1,70,000 into 0.1826. It is equal to rupees 31,042. Hence, even the present worth of the maturity value of 1,70,000 after 15 years is only rupees 31,042. So it is more profitable to accept the offer of rupees 40,000 in 2010. Case 6. A leaser has leased his property worth rupees 30 lakhs to a lease. He will receive back his property only after 10 years on the expiry of the lease deed. Calculate its present worth by adopting 7% rate of interest. Capital amount receivable is equal to rupees 30 lakhs. Rate of return 7% and number of years, the term of the period is equal to 10 years. Present worth of receivable amount of 30 lakhs to be received after 10 years is equal to 30 lakhs into 1 divided 1 plus 0.07 the whole raised to 10. That is equal to 30 lakhs into 0.5083 is equal to 15 lakhs 24,900. Income approach in valuation. For income approach, see, it is divided into two groups, freehold property and the leasehold property. Now the freehold property again divided into owner-occupied property, that is vacant property, then freehold subject to lease. These are the division of the income approach regarding the classification of the properties to be taken for income approach. Freehold properties. Freehold properties can be further divided as owner-occupied properties or vacant properties and freehold subject to lease. Owner-occupied properties. Case 1. A shop located in a less predominant area in a rural town. The owner is running a medical shop and he intends to sell the property outright in the market. The shop has an area of 30 square meter. The current market rent of similar shop in a slightly better area is rupees 400 per square meter per month on full repairing and insuring terms with 3 yearly rent revision clauses. The yield from the shops in the later better area indicates a figure of 6%. Estimate the freehold value of the shop. Now here, valuation of the freehold interest. Please note that the shop is in a less predominant area than the comparable shop given. So for this disadvantage, we have to allow a deduction from the rental value. Considering and comparing the two localities in question, the valuer decided to make a deduction of 10% from the rental value. The rent adjusted will also be on fully insuring and repairing terms and conditions and a 3-yearly rent revision clause. The yield location where the property is situated is found to be 7%. The market rent is equal to 30 square meter, the area of the shop, plus the prevailing rent, 400 per square meter. Then for 12 months, this is multiplied by 0.9 for considering a deduction of 10% being located in a less predominant locality, which works out to rupees 1,29,600 per annum. Less outgoing, since it is on fully insuring and repairing terms. Outgoing charges, because all the outgoings are being paid by the tenant himself because of the fully insuring and repairing terms and conditions. The year's purchase at 7% in perpetuity is equal to 1 by R is equal to 1 divided by 0.07 is equal to 14.2857. So the market value, the capital value is equal to annual rent into year's purchase. So the annual rent is 1,29,600 into the year's purchase. In perpetuity, we have worked out as 14.2857. So the market value of the property is 18,51,427. Please note here, in this case also, the market rent and the rent obtained by current lettings with the appropriate terms and conditions, typical of the type of the property to be considered, the difference in terms of agreement, etc., have to be closely considered. Case 2. In a block of several independent office units, each of 250 square meter carpet area falls vacant with appropriate terms and conditions. They are typical to the type of property. It is seen that similar type of units with 200 square meter are let out at a rent of rupees 600 square meter per month. On inquiring agreement conditions of the similar type of office units in the locality, it is seen that the landlord is responsible for the external repairs, structural repairs, maintenance, payment of property tax, insurance and management charges. The freehold yield from such office units works out to 6%. Find out the market value of the property. Here, allow a deduction of 5% for relatively bigger area of the subject asset with respect to the comparable asset, that is 250 square meter against 200 square meter. Please note here the 5% deduction is given after verifying the prevailing rent in the locality. Here also the valuer should have a thorough knowledge of the rent prevailing in the present place as well as the place where we are going to consider the revised rent. Hence, the market rent per square meter per month is equal to, because 5% deduction is given, so 0.95 into 600 is equal to 570 per square meter per month. Market rent, full rental value, is equal to rupees 570 into the area 250, and for 12 months is equal to rupees 17 lakhs 10,000. Gross market rent is equal to 17 lakhs 10,000 per annum. Less outgoings to be paid by landlord. Repair maintenance 15%, insurance 3%, property tax 15%, management 3%. Total 36%, which works out to rupees 6 lakhs 15,600. Net rent, net income is equal to rupees 10 lakhs 94,400. Years versus 6% in perpetuity is equal to 15.06 is equal to 16.666. So the market value is equal to the annuity, the annual income into 1 by R, that is the year's purchase in perpetuity, is equal to 10 lakhs 94,400 into 16.66 is equal to 1 crore 82 lakhs 32,704. In this case also, care should be taken to assess the market rent only after proper investigation. Case 3. A owns a shop in a prime locality in Trivandrum, and he is occupying and running his motor spare parts business in this shop. He intends to sell this shop with vacant possession to raise funds for his other business in Kochi. The shop is in good condition and renovated recently. The useful life of the shop is 55 years. Find out the value of the freehold interest in the shop. It is known that similar shops in this locality fetches a monthly rent of 50,000 per month on fully repairing and insuring lease with standard terms and conditions for such shops with 5-yearly rent revision clause. 2. Market rental value. The yield for such shop units is found to be worth 4%. What is the freehold interest in shop? Valuation of freehold interest. Market rent, full rental value is equal to 12 into 50,000 is equal to 6 lakhs per annum. Less outgoings. Outgoing is 0 because it is under fully insured terms and conditions. So net income is 6 lakhs. Years purchase, YP at 4% in perpetuity is equal to 100 divided 4 is equal to 25. So the market value is equal to 6 lakhs into 1 by R is equal to 6 lakhs into 25 is equal to 1 crore 50 lakhs. No, in reality, the valuer should make a sincere effort in the area to ascertain the current rent and the conditions in the lease agreement regarding the outgoings, the terms of the agreement, etc., to arrive at a reasonable rent for the property. 2. Freehold subject to lease. In the above chapter, from item 1, I have been explaining the case of owner-occupied or vacant site. We come across properties that are leased out currently or sometime back in past years. The properties that have been leased out for a very long period but still have an unexpired period are mostly likely to have a level of rent much below the current market rent, that is the full rental value, unless there are terms and conditions to revise the rent to the current market level in regular intervals, say every 3 years or every 5 years. Another reason why the rent under a lease is below the market rent is sometimes due to the fact that the landlord might have received a sum as premium or rent in advance, allowing a reduction in rent when compared to the market rent. Because of the premium, a reduction is given in the rent. So naturally, in the leasehold property, the monthly rent will be less than the market rent. The freehold properties subject to lease are further divided into two types. Freehold subject to lease with fixed rent reserved at a level below market rent. Then freehold subject to lease at market rent with rent review clause. Freehold subject lease with fixed rent reserved at a level below the market rate, then freehold subject lease at market rent with rent review clause. Freehold subject to leases with fixed rent reserved at a level below the market rent. In a valuation in the above conditions, it is necessary the valuation has to be done in two stages called the term and the reversion. And this method is called the term and reversion method. The term refers to the unexpired period of the existing leasehold interest which has been created by the freeholder, that is the income from the unexpired period of the lease. Then reversion is the right of the freeholder to receive back the property after the expiry of the lease period. After the expiry of the lease, as per the condition, the lessee has to return back the property. If there is a building, it has been reverted back to the leaser. Under the method, term and reversion method, the income from the unexpired period lease period and the income from the reversion are valued separately. As explained here, there are two steps coming up. First, the rent received or the income from the property during the unexpired period of the contract. Then the income from reversion are valued separately. Valuation of the term unexpired period of lease. The term is again divided into two types, a short term and a long term. In the case of the short term, say about 5 years, the income is capitalized at the same rate as the reversion in a first class location, which is generally low. But it is generally seen that the term is usually quite long. In the case of term of rent for a long term, it is capitalized at a higher rate that may be higher than the gifted security rate. But the reversion in a first-class location is capitalized in such cases at a much lower rate. Valuation of reversion. After the expiry of the lease period, the landlord received back his property. Now he is free to lease out his property at the market with other typical terms and conditions of lease. If the property is located in a prime locality, the increase in rent will be more than the normal increase in the rental value of the property. So, according to the income capitalizing method, this property will be capitalized at a lower rate of interest, which also depends upon the sale value or the opportunities to sell the property in question. Case studies. Case 1. A shop in a business center in Trivandrum leased for 20 years, out of which 15 years have already expired. The rent fixed under the lease agreement is Rs 20,000 per month under a fully repairing and insurance basis. The current market rent of the property is Rs 60,000 per month on a fully repairing and insurance lease with 5 yearly rent revision. The property in a prime locality, Central Business District in Trivandrum. The freehold yield in the location for such properties is found to be 4% on a fully repairing and insurance lease with typical lease terms agreement with 5 yearly rent revision clause. As explained earlier, valuation has to be done in 2 stages. First, the term, then the reversion. And this method is called the term and reversion method. The term means the anticipated rental income or rent reserved during the unexpired period of lease. Reversion means the present value of the property which will be reverted back after the expiry of the unexpired period of lease. Term. Rent reserved is Rs 20,000 into 12 is equal to Rs 2,40,000 per annum. Years purchase at 4% return for 5 years. The years purchase equal to 1 minus PV by R is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus R the whole raised to n, the whole divided by R is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 1.04 the whole raised to 5 is equal to 1.08, 1 minus 0.8219 divided by 0.04. So, which equals to 4.4525. So, the value is equal to 2,40,000 into the year's purchase 4.4525 is equal to rupees 10,68,600. This is the rent received or receivable within the 5 years. Reversion of the property. The revised rent is Rs 60,000 per month. So, the annual income is equal to 60,000 into 12 is equal to Rs 7,20,000. It is net because outgoings are paid by the tenant. That is, it is fully repairing an insurance lease. So, the year's purchase at 4% in perpetuity is equal to 1 divided by 0.04 is equal to 25. So the value is equal to 7,20,000 into 25 is equal to rupees 1 crore 80 lakhs. Here, though the value of the property on reversion is 1 crore 80 lakhs, you will physically get the property only after 5 years from the present date, that is, on the expiry of the unexpired period of the lease. Hence, the present value of the property, which is worth 1 crore 80 lakhs, which you will get after 5 years and at the rate of interest 4% will be the present value of 1 rupee at 4% in 5 years is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus r the whole raised to n. The present value of 1 rupee received after 5 years is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus 0.04 the raised to 5 is equal to 1 divided by 1.2166 is equal to 0.8219. So the present value of the property of 1 crore 80 lakhs, which is to be received after 5 years, the present value will be 1 crore 80 lakhs into 0.8219 is equal to rupees 1 crore 47 lakhs 94,200. So the total amount to be received, the term plus the reversion. The term is, that is the rent, the annual rent is equal to rupees 10,68,600 plus the reverted value of the property after 5 years is equal to rupees 1 crore 47 lakhs 94,200, totaling rupees 1 crore 58 lakhs 62,800. In this also, please note, the term and the reversion have been capitalized on the same rate of term is very short. In the case of long term, the rate of capitalization is different. As the property is in a prime locality, the yield has been chosen at a very low rate as indicated by analysis of sales of similar property. Case 2. A residential flat in a 5-storied apartment complex is advertised for sale. The flat is leased out to government official under a lease deed as per which there is an unexpired term of 10 years at a reserved rent of rupees 15,000 per month under exclusive terms. The current market rent on exclusive terms with 5-yearly rent revision clause is rupees 60,000 per month. These terms and conditions are typical of a notional lease for the type of property in question in the present market. It is confirmed that the yield from similar properties in this location from leases on exclusive terms with 5-yearly rent revision clauses is 8%. And this is a secondary location. What is the market value of the freeholder's interest in the property? As explained earlier, valuation has to be done in 2 stages. First, the term and then the reversion. And this method is called the term and reversion method. Term. Rent reserved, rupees 15,000 and 12 is equal to 1,80,000. Years purchase at 8% for 10 years at single rate is equal to 1 minus PV by R is equal to 1 minus 1 divided 1 plus R the whole raised to divided by R, which is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 1.08 raised to 10 divided by 0.08 is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 2.1589 divided by 0.08 is equal to 1 minus 0.4632 divided by 0.08, which is equal to 0.5368 divided by 0.08 is equal to 6.71. So the value of the property is the annual rent 1,80,000 into 6.71 is equal to rupees 12,07,800. Reversion of property. Market rent is equal to 60,000 into 12 is equal to 7,20,000. Outgoings nil since exclusive terms and conditions. So the years purchase at 8% in perpetuity is equal to 1 divided by 0.08 is equal to 12.5. So the value of the property on reversion is 7,20,000. 12.5 is equal to 90 lakhs. Here, though the value of the property on reversion is 90 lakhs, you will get to only after 10 years from present rate. Hence, the present value of the property, which is for 90 lakhs, after 10 years at the rate of 8% has to be worked out. Present value is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus R the whole raised to n. So that's equal to 1 divided by 1 plus 0.08 raised to 10 is equal to 1 divided by 2.1589 is equal to 0.4632. That's equal to, so the value is equal to rupees 90 lakhs into 0.4632 is equal to rupees 41 lakhs 68,800. So the total term plus reversion is equal to rupees 12 lakhs 7,800 plus rupees 41 lakhs 68,800 totaling to rupees 53 lakhs 76,800. Note, in this case, when compared to the case 1, the term for a long period of 10 years, hence capitalized at a higher rate of 8% than 4% for a shorter term in case 1. The apartment is located at a secondary location, hence the yield is much higher than the residual unit in a prime location. Case 3. A ready-made dress stitching unit situated in a secondary location is held under a ground lease having 30 years unexpired period at a fixed monthly rent of rupees 12,000 per month on a exclusive terms. The current market rent of the vacant property is rupees 40,000 per month on exclusive terms with 5-yearly rent review clause. The terms and conditions are typical of a national lease of the same type of property in question in the present market. It is found that the freehold yield of the vacant workshop is currently 13% as found from analysis of other cases of leases with 5-yearly rent revision clause. As for the terms and conditions on the expiry of the lease period, on reversion, the land and the building will be owned by the freeholder. Find out the value of the freeholder's interest in the property. Valuation of freeholders' interest. Valuation in two stages as explained earlier, term and then the revision. In the term, ground rent reserved is equal to 12,000 is equal to 1,44,000. Outgoings are nil. Years purchase 15% for 30 years at single rate is equal to 1 minus VVAR. Please note, the ground rent of the term is too low, but it is fixed for a very long term of 30 years, hence not secured in reality. It is hit by inflation, hence the term rate of capitalization is kept as high as at the rate of 15%. This is the reason why the return is kept as 15%. That is equal to 1 minus 1 divided 1 plus r the whole raised to n divided by r is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 1.15 the whole raised to 30 is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 66.2117 divided by 0.15, which is equal to 6.566. So the value is equal to 1,44,000 into 6.566 is equal to rupees 9,45,504. Reversion of the property. Ground rent revised is equal to 40,000 per month into 12 is equal to rupees 4,80,000 per annum. Outgoings are nil since it is on exclusive terms and conditions. The years purchase at 13% perpetuity is equal to 1 divided 0.13 is equal to 7.69. Value is equal to 4,80,000 into 7.69 is equal to 36,91,200. Here, though the value of the property on reversion is rupees 36,91,200, you will get it only after 30 years from the present date. Hence, the present value of the property, which is worth 36,91,200, which you will get 30 years, after 30 years at the rate of 13%. So the present value is equal to 1 divided 1 plus r the whole raised to n. So this is equal to, this is the year's purchase, because the value of 1 rupee, which you will get after 30 years at the rate of return of 13%, is equal to 1 divided 1 plus 0.13 the whole raised to 30 is equal to 1 divided by 39.1159 is equal to 0.0256. So the value is equal to 36,91,200 into 0.0256 is equal to rupees 79,135. Term plus revision is equal to 9,45,504 plus 79,135 is equal to 10,24,639. So value of freeholder interest is the term plus the reversion is equal to rupees 10,24,639. Here you should note, in this case, the ground rent of the term is too low, but it is fixed for a very long term of 30 years, hence not secured in reality. It is hit by inflation, hence the term rate of capitalization is kept as high at a rate of 15%. the property is located in a secondary area. So on reversion, the market rent has been capitalized at appropriate rate for this type of property associated with rent revision clause. Case 4. A printing press in a secondary location is held under a ground lease having unexpired period of 50 years. The rent reserved under the ground lease is rupees 1,20,000 per annum and with a 5-year rent review clause on exclusive terms. On reversion, the warehouse is at its end of its useful life and the property reverts to the site value only. The current market ground rent is rupees 4,50,000 per annum on exclusive terms with 5-yearly rent review clause. These terms and conditions are same for the type of property in the current market. On inquiry, it is found that for a ground rent of vacant site in similar location indicates an yield of 10% in this location for leases with 5 years rent review clause and then on exclusive terms. Find out the value of the freeholder's interest in the property. Value has to be worked out in 2 stages. As explained earlier, the term plus reversion. Term. The ground rent reserved is equal to 1,20,000 per annum. Deduct outgoing. Since it is a lease deed with the exclusive terms of conditions, there is no outgoing, so it is 0. So years purchase 8% for 50 years at single rate is equal to 1 minus PV by R. Please note the ground rent of the term is too lower than the current market rent, but also reviewed every 5 years. So term rent is well secured and hence capitalized at a lower rate than the rate of capitalization of the current market rent as is appropriate for the type of property in the secondary location. The gifted security rate at the point of time is 7.5%. And the rate of capitalization of the term is taken as 8% considering liquidity, management, and market risk associated with real estate. So this is equal to 1 minus PV by R is equal to 1 minus 1 by 1 plus R, the whole raised to n divided by R is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus 0.08 raised to 50 divided by 0.08. That is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 46.906 divided by 0.08. That is equal to 12.2338. Value is equal to 1,20,000 into 12.2338 is equal to rupees 14,68,056. Now the second part, the reversion of the property. The ground rent revised is equal to rupees 4,50,000 net. Outgoings nil since exclusive terms and conditions. Years for 10% in perpetuity is equal to 1 by 0.10 is equal to 10. So the value is equal to 4,50,000 into 10 is equal to 45 lakhs. Here, though the value of the property on reversion is 45 lakhs, you will get it only after 50 years from the present date. Hence, the present value of the property, which is worth 45,000 after 50 years at the rate of 10% is equal to 1 by 1 plus r the whole raised to n is equal to 1 divided 1 plus 0.10 the whole raised to 50 is equal to 1 divided by 117.3908 is equal to 0.0085. So the value is equal to 45 lakhs into 0.0085 is equal to rupees 38,250. Here the small amount of salvage value of the materials of the printing press less cost of demolition is ignored. Term plus reversion is equal to rupees 14,68,056 into rupees 38,250 is equal to rupees 15 lakhs 6,306. The market value of freeholders' interest is equal to rupees 15 lakhs 6,306. In this case, please note the term of rent is not only much lower than the current market rate, but also it is reviewed every 5 years. So the term rent is well secured and capitalized at a lower rate than the rate of capitalization of the current market rate, as is appropriate for the type of property in the second location. Case 5. A ready-made garment shop is in a first-class location in a major city. Mr. X has taken the shop on lease for reserved lease rent of rupees 1,20,000 per annum on inclusive terms without a rent review clause. The shop lease has an unexpired period of 15 years. The full market rent on reversion on exclusive terms is equal to 2,75,000 per annum with a 5-yearly rent review clause. These are appropriate terms and conditions that are typical of type of property under examination under a notional lease in the present market. Find out the freeholder's interest in the property. On inquiry, it is found that similar shops are earning a freehold yield at 3% in this locality when let out on exclusive terms of condition and with a yearly rent reversion, with a 5-yearly rent reversion. As explained earlier, the valuation has to be done in 2 stages, the term and the reversion. Term gross rent is 1,20,000 per annum, less outgoings of landlord, say repairs and maintenance 15%, insurance 1%, property 15%, management 1%, totaling to 32%, which is equal to rupees 38,400. So net rental income is equal to 1,20,000 minus 38,400 is equal to rupees 81,600. So the years purchased 10% that for 15 years is 1 minus PV by R is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus R the whole raised and divided by R is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus 0.1 the whole raised to 15 divided by 0.1 is equal to 0.7606 divided by 0.1 is equal to 7.606. So market value is equal to 81,600 into 7.606 is equal to rupees 6,20,650. Now the reversion. Years purchase a 3% perpetuity is equal to 1 by R is equal to 1 by 0.03 is equal to 33.333. So the value is equal to 2,75,000 into 33.333 is equal to rupees 91,66,575. This is the reversion value at the rate of 3% after 15 years. Though the value is rupees 91,66,575, you will get the property only after 15 years. So we'll have to find out what will be the value of 1 rupee which you get after 15 years. What is the present value? For that, hence the present value is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus r the whole raised to n is equal to 1 divided 1 plus 0.03 raised to 15 is equal to 1 divided by 1.03 the whole raised to 15 is equal to 1 divided by 1.557 is equal to 0.641. So the present value is equal to 91,66,575 into 0.641 is equal to rupees 58,75,775. So the total income value on the lesser side, freeholder side, is equal to term plus reversion is equal to 6,20,650 plus 58,75,775 is equal to rupees 64,96,425. Now I am winding up the part 4 of the presentation. The present chapter, Valuation of Properties for Beginners Part 4, is being completed here. The next chapter, comprising freehold property subject to lease at market rent with rent review clause, TDR concept, transfer of development rights, surrender of development rights, leasehold properties, valuation of leasehold properties and rent capitalization, surrender and renewal of lease, valuation as per market approach, and valuation as per cost approach have been explained in part 4 to be uploaded soon. I extend my courtesy and gratitude to Sri R.K. Gandhi, Sri Shyamas Datta, and Sri K.B. Kanagasabapati for certain extracts taken from their book on valuation. Hope this presentation is helpful to you all. Please express your frank opinion, your likes and dislikes about this presentation. I also request you to subscribe my channel. Thank you.